Well, welcome to Math 112 at the University of Oregon. I'm going to take you through a little bit of a tutorial on your calculator. Most of you should have something like this, what you see here, the TI-84 Plus Silver Edition. You might have the TI-83 or the TI-83 Plus, and some of you may even have the TI-89. I want to let you know that all those calculators except for the 89 will be covered by the little tutorial videos that I do. If you take a look, you've got all the buttons sitting here. And to kind of help out, what this program that I'm using allows me to do is it allows me to show you what are stored as functions, what these look like in the table, and what the graph looks like. So I'll have that up, as well as having up my key press history. And what that'll allow you to do is kind of say exactly what am I doing. So over here on the left, you'll see me press a button, and it'll show up over here so you can kind of confirm that. The button I just pressed is the one that turned the calculator on. I'm going to go through a few of the key components that you'll need as we go through math. One of the biggest things that you need is right up here in the Mode button. And so if you press that, it will bring up a lot of different options. These options start blinking at you, and you can change them by pressing these keys, the left, right, up, and down, and then pressing Enter. So if I press it to the right, it blinks, but the option is still not selected. Once I press Enter, then the option is now selected. So I've just moved from normal mode on the calculator to scientific. I could also choose the engineering mode. For this class, staying with the normal mode is probably going to be the best, so I'm going to go back to it. I want to kind of talk through a couple of the features here that you may find yourself in, especially say during a test. It's really frustrating to be in a test and all of a sudden something isn't working right. So going down here, this is the number of decimal places that you're choosing. And so if I was to click on the number 3 and press Enter, and now I'm going to quit by pressing second and then the Mode button. That's called quit. I'm going to go back to my main screen. If I was to do this problem now, let's say 2 divided by 7, it will give me 0.286, and it might make you think that there are only 3 digits in this. But what we just did under the Mode button was fix the number of decimal points at 3. What happens when we go down and turn it back to float is it allows the calculator, to modify. Now if I press Enter again, it will repeat the calculation of 2 divided by 7, but this time it will show all the decimal places that it can physically hold in memory. Now notice it's still at this last digit over here, has rounded to that decimal place. So in this case, 2857142857 repeats, continue repeating, and in this case, the 7 is correct because the next digit is a 1. But it's going to be very hard for you to tell that. So we really got to be very careful. We're going to trust that last digit. Notice in the 3-digit expansion, it was 286, but really it was 285, and the 7 caused the 6 to round up. So we need to be careful about that. But that's one of the modes that your calculator has built in. Another very important mode is the one involving radians or degrees. And you need to know which one is which as we go through this course. So in order to change between them, simply roll down. If you want to be in degree mode, press Enter. You'll be in degree mode. If you want to be in radian mode, press Enter there. Now you're back in radian mode. And the others, function, parametric, polar, and sequential, those are different modes of graphing. And we may at sometimes get to, say, a polar graph. The function is the one that you are most used to, and that'll show up here on the screen. It's y equals. So we always have y as a function of x in the TI-83, 84 family of calculators. So when you type something in as a function, it will graph it for you. And we'll see how that works momentarily. The next ones are whether you want your graphs to be connected or just a sequence of little dots. Most of the time we want them connected. The sequential mode allows you, or simultaneous, allows you to put a whole bunch of functions in, and it will either graph them all at the same time or one at a time. And you might prefer sequential because what it does is then you can see which function is going on first. Beneath that we have real. The real mode allows you to simply have just the real components. And if it is not a real number coming out of your function or as an output from an operation, then it will return a value of not a real number, and it'll give you an error code. However, if we turn it to complex, which is the one right next to it, then it will return something that is in a plus bi form, the complex number. There's a lot of other features and options in here, but these tend to differ significantly based on which calculator you have. This one has the ability to set a clock. You can go in here and set your diagnostics on or off, which is nice when we're doing R values, but we're gonna leave that off for now. Most of you will be fine with the way that it's printed, and the answers will be automatic in terms of either decimal or fraction, although you can set that to the default. So let's kind of go through really quickly what it looks like when you do one of these different pieces. So I've already changed the float. I'm going to go ahead and show you what the real and complex mode looks like. So currently in real mode, here's what it would look like if I tried to do the square root of -1. And I'm going to press enter. And again, the error screen comes up. Error, non-real answer. Freak out. Now you can quit this, or you can go to where the error was. Oh, that's because I was taking the square root of a negative number. That makes sense. But if we change the mode to go down here, and I'm going to choose a plus bi form now and quit. Now if I press enter, it will say I. And if I tried something else, like the square root of 2 plus 3, I, and I is down here, it will give me the square root of 2 plus 3i. In this case, it gives it to me in decimal form, but here it is. There's the real component, plus, and then if I scroll over, I get plus this times I. So there's a plus bi form, and that's the square root of 2 plus 3i. So that about wraps it up for right now. The most important thing to remember is that this is your calculator, and you're not going to break it by pushing buttons. So get used to it, get familiar with it, and if you have questions, consult the manual or ask me. And I will see you guys next time. Off you go.